Tonight, I'm going to take this time out to talk about the Dr. Martin Luther King movement. For those that have called in, this is Bishop Turner, I'm your host tonight, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement. We want to talk about jobs and equality, racism, and also white supremacy. I want to talk about where we come from and where we must be going in order to move at that level. As we talk about the movement of Dr. Martin Luther King, and we're talking about freedom for black people. And it go back to Moses. It go back to Egypt when Pharaoh would let people go. And Dr. King is talking about what happened in South Africa, what happened in Sudan, North Africa, South Africa, Kenya, and that's where we come from, Africa. If you don't know a great deal about Africa, you should know about Africa. Being Afro American, being black, and whatever you don't know, tonight I want to share with you business. And I want you to talk about going into business. This is Bishop Turner with the Dr. Martin Luther King movement. This is the 8th of May, 2017. And we want to talk about the strides that we have made and our ancestors have made. In 2017, we should be asking for reparation. We should be bringing our money together, and we should go to Africa to understand racism, white supremacy in America. And as Dr. King talked about it, I want you to understand. Don't know. Never. It's the countries in Africa. Morocco. All black. The body, Johannesburg, on the coast. That's the farming belt of Africa. That's where Tanganyika and Kenya is where the gold and the silver at. And you have to talk about Africa, to talk about Africa. Now, when we talk about Africa, we talk about the motherland. We say it again, the motherland. And tonight, as we talk about mothers, you got to go back to the motherland, the land that birthed you, and that was Africa, Tanganyika, all on the coast of Africa where it was farming, and on down it was gold and oil. Up in Egypt, it was oil. In Kenya, down in Tanganyika, and around uh, Cape Town was around where silver and gold and many of your artifacts. And this is the black angels come out of Tanganyika. These are the angels. This is Michael. This is Gabriel. And this is Metatron. These are the black angels come out of Africa. I want to share that with you tonight where you might know. If you look at what I got on the wall, I got Archangel Michael. I got the rooster. I got the Ark of the Covenant. And also I got Egypt, which is part of Africa, with the angel descending down. I share those that are spiritual that go to the temple. And when you go to the temple, you learn about your own race of people, your own culture. And once you learn about them, you know what to do in order to be involved with them. It's important for you to know how to be involved with your own people. I think that's the most important thing. Because I hold this up to you. These are the angels which you haven't heard about, and ain't nobody probably told you about them because we're in the European system, and as we in the European system, we don't talk about where we supposed to be at as black people. As our ancestors were took over from slavery, it gives us a sense of understanding who we are and where we're supposed to be in Africa. And here's Dr. King talking about Africa now, and I just want to share it with you. The Gold Coast is lost, is involved in that. For years and centuries of man. And reason it was flooded because Europeans came over and stole, robbed, and killed. And that's important to know tonight. By Europeans. Europeans. And five million people, black people. Peace and love. They wanted the silver and the gold. That's what they wanted. The commercials. That's what they wanted. And it was about gold and money. And in 1957, March 6th, of the British Empire. And I want to stop there. I want to stop right there. The British Empire took that Gold Coast and colonized all them black people, and those black people was under slavery right there in their own homeland. The silver, the gold, the fish trade, all that was going to Britain, and it went on for years and years. So, reason I'm playing this tape, I want you to know where we come from. Where's your home ground at? And I want to say to you that's in New Orleans, you in Mississippi, Arkansas, you that feel that if I marry a white man, I'll be accepted. I want to tell you, sisters, you're not going to be accepted. The brothers, so uh, uh, if I marry a black a white woman as a black man, I'd be accepted. You're not going to be accepted, black man, black woman, marrying a European. You're not going to be accepted because the thing of it that it's all about color. It's about skin color. It's always been about skin color. Until you realize it's been about skin color, you ain't gonna get nowhere. Until you realize the whole gamut of the planet, that's what's happening throughout Chicago, Detroit, California, and it seems like they don't need black folks right now, and they don't need you. So this is some of the stuff that's happening. Hmm. The birth of a new nation. And they should be governing themselves. And wash dishwasher, lobby porter. He said I wanted to go back home to my people because I want to free my people. And what I'm saying tonight to many of you, it's a philosophy that we have to take care of the Dr. Martin Luther King movement. And I want to say to you, Brother White, and those who call, where we go from here, community or chaos, where we go from here. We got to go back to economic development. We got to go back to create something new. We got to go back to bring us back up and understand the motherland, Africa. And Sunday, we're going to have Mother's Day. I want to talk about our motherland, Africa. And we have to go back and find out what happened in the motherland and why people are so hateful of us. Because right now, 2017, we're going through a racial barrier. As we go through that racial barrier, we feel like we have lost our way. And some of you, we have lost our way. And go back to Africa, your home. We have to go back to Africa. Mm-hmm. For slaves. And this is some of the stuff that's happening. Mm-hmm. 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 They couldn't keep him there. Minister, the prime minister for a time. So this nation moved towards its independence, and we have to have a new birth of Chicago a new birth of Detroit, new birth of Indiana, a new birth of America. It's got to be a new birth of America. And the new birth of America will bring us back to where we need to be. We no more can be slaves. We no more can be jobless and homeless. We got to talk about a new birth that coming from God, and God touched the people. A new birth of a new birth of the USA. A new birth of America got to come in order to set the tone right for all of us. Those that are living in poverty, those that are homeless, those that are mentally ill, those have lost their way from Vietnam, from the Gulf War. A new birth of the USA must come under the power of the Almighty God. So I'm looking for the new birth. And I want to tell you tonight, we must, we must, we must have that new birth. That new birth must bring us into 2018, 2019 in America. The new birth will bring us in a situation where we be able to help people all over. So I'm looking for the new birth, and I want you to look for the new birth, because we need the new birth, because the new birth will bring us into another level. So we're looking for the other level that the new birth will bring us. In the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, in the spirit of all that we know today, that we have to talk about the homeless people, the people that don't have jobs, the people that is searching for a new way. And the only way they can get that new way by us standing tall and standing together. So we're looking for the new birth to come to bring us a, a will to open up that door. Many of our sisters and brothers have lost their way. And I want to say tonight, in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement, we got to breathe a breath of relief. And if we don't breathe the breath of relief, we're on a way, we're on a pathway of suffering. We're on a pathway of not going to the next level. So the only way is that we have to go to the next level. And you say, Bishop, how do you do that? By continuing, call on the Almighty God to control us and open up the door that what we're going to be. Now, I want to say to you, God is keeping me, and He'll keep you. And I want to hear from the Mississippi Mass Choir that God is keeping me, and He's keeping you. And I want to share that with you tonight, that those that listen, if you got a need, plant a seed, go to my website, theseedabrahamyellowsite.com, and go down to my homepage and press homepage, special events. We're getting ready for our women's prayer convention here in Chicago, and I want you to get involved. I want you to be involved with it. I got Dr. Christian involved with it. Got many people involved. I want you to be involved. Call me where you can be involved in our prayer vision. And as we get in, we're going to bring Indiana together. We're going to bring Detroit together, Chicago and Minnesota, the surrounding areas, to talk about where we go from here. So it's important for you to know that God will keep you and He'll keep me. And we're going to hear from Mississippi Mass Choir. And as we listen to that, I'm going to give you some pointers that we need to do. And as we get ready to do that, God will open up the door for us. And God open that door up, He will bless us. This is the Mississippi Mass Choir. And their theme tonight, God is keeping me. And I want to share with you a new birth in America. The old America got to be changed. We got to have a new birth, a new thought. Our young folks got to be taught about Paul Laurence Dunbar, Robeson, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Dr. Shuttleworth, Dr. Abernathy. They got to know how to know that God is keeping Bishop Frank Cook, Bishop Ben Ross, and Reverend Jackson out of Monroe. Those are Bishop Gatemouth Moore out of Memphis, Tennessee, and out of Yazoo City. You got to know that God is keeping us. And I want to say this tonight as we get ready. A new birth. That means economically, mentally, physically, a new birth, a new people with unity. Every pastor, every community, every politician must have part of this new birth coming in from God. It's a divine law from God that we have to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, see about them that are sick. And Obama started the health care and they try to destroy it, but they can't, cause people need health care. People need housing. People need somewhere to stay. So a new birth got to take over from the Civil War, and a country divided got to come back together for the new birth. And the catalyst for the new birth is the black man. The black woman is the leading for the new birth. So when we cut out the foolishness and get serious, God's going to give a new birth. And God's going to give it to us quick, fast, and in a hurry. And we've been in trouble for a minute, but our ancestors, Ashe, our ancestor through Amun-Ra, which is the God of our ancestor, had keeping us for the new birth. So you and me, we are about the new birth. New economics, new jobs, new love. God has opened up the door. He's moving white supremacy and racism out of the situation. A new birth. Racism and white supremacy got to go. The black man has to control his destiny. He got to control where he's going. He got to come out of the European court system. Got to create his own court system. He got to come out of European economics, create his economics. And once you move white supremacy and racism out of the picture, then you can go back to Africa, right here in South America, right here in North America. So, in the spirit of Martin Luther King, I want to say tonight, a new birth taking place in our young men, our young women. The birth is that we must be able to build our house. We must own our house. We must know that God's going to open the door for us. And God's going to give us what we want. Somebody ought to say thank you, because I feel right now God is keeping us. He's keeping us body, mind, soul, and spirit. God has kept mama, grandma, great-grandmama, and the spirit of our ancestors have been walking with us and keeping us with a mindset after the killing, the murder, the rape, the hanging. God still kept us, which is Amun-Ra, the God of our ancestors, the God of the universe. When I say Egypt, I'm talking about Africa. When I said it, when I say over in in Kenya, I'm talking about Africa. So all the resources were stole from us, but God gonna give us a new birth. Somebody ought to say new birth and say, yeah, new birth. I'm I'm leaving the slave master to begin to be the master of the world. So God gonna make you master of the world. Put them hands together and tell the Lord thank you. In the spirit of Malcolm and Dr. King, and in the spirit of all of God's children, in the spirit of what God given us, and I'm talking about in the spirit of breakthrough, the new house, the new car, the economic development, that's a new birth. You got to say, I'm a part of the new birth, feeding the hungry, taking them that's sleeping under the bridges all over this country, taking their wealth, sharing it with all the people. You know, Trump put all rich people on his cabinet, but the Almighty gonna tear that down. I want you to say, I'm part of the new birth. And you tell somebody, I'm part of the new birth. All that stuff ain't of God, of the Almighty. See, when you talk about God, you're talking about a new birth. When you talk about Amun-Ra, you're talking about a new birth. When you talk about Africa, you're talking about a new birth. When you talk about Egypt, you're talking about a new birth. And when you get ready for the new birth, somebody ought to whisper breakthrough. Because the breakthrough is coming for that new birth for you. At this hour, that door will open up for you quick, fast. And somebody say, in the spirit of our ancestor, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Martin Luther King, Nat Turner, and so many others that have paved the way, and all the ancestors. You know, you can never forget how your ancestor came to America. They didn't come on the Mayflower. They come in the belly of the ship, packed in. Some of them died. But God, the Almighty, kept us for knowledge and kept our children. You know, I want to say to you, those that have made it, you got your house up on the hill, you got money in the bank. But I want to let you know, in the new birth, that don't mean nothing if you don't grasp your your brother and your sister. And you can go to get the caveman and marry him, sister. Brother, you can get the cave woman and marry her. But when it all said and done, you left out. So until you come back in unity, the homosexual stuff that they put on it, the slavery, the ain't no people in America been hung and killed like the black man. The black man been hung, killed, and lynched for years. And we being lynched psychologically. Now we want to be in the trend. We want to be homosexual because somebody told you you're not good enough to be a man, be a woman. And told a woman you need to be a man. That's brainwashing. But the new birth of our young folk, stop the killing, save the babies. The new birth of our college kids, it's saying we want change, we want it now. We want everybody to have insurance. We want everybody to have a house. We want everybody to be able to eat. The new birth. And I want to share with you, in America, it's coming a new birth. The dope distracts us, the alcohol distracts us, but the new birth coming where we don't need the crack, the cocaine. We don't need the black on black murder that's going on. So many mothers have been hurt. But in the new birth, we're going to embrace those mothers on this mother. They're going to embrace mothers and sisters and bring love. For God so loved the world, he gave himself. Amun-Ra so loved the world, he gave his only self to us. So our ancestors that came over saying, I want you to remember where you come from. So it's buried in your DNA that you're supposed to be successful. You play basketball, you the best. You play golf, you play tennis, you play hockey, you the best because it's trapped in your DNA. You're a genius. You are master. You are kings. You're queens. So I want to share that with you. That get ready for the new birth coming from the Almighty God that's coming to you and you. Call me. Get in contact with me. You can write me at Bishop Turner Post Office Box 2890907, Chicago, Illinois. That's Post Office Box 2890907, Chicago, Illinois 60628. Now you can call me at 773-629-0005. Now you're going to go to my website, thusseedabraham.com. Go to the home page. You can see what's on the home page. I just want you to get ready on Dr. Martin Luther King. It's saying in the spirit of Dr. King, in the spirit of Malcolm, in the spirit of your ancestors, in the spirit, I say your ancestor, you that's sitting in the temple, I want to let you know the spirit going to guide you to success. The spirit going to guide you to yokes being broke. You got to break out of life the way you know it. He said, I'm part of the new birth. I'm going to be talking about that at the temple Sunday. I'm going to be talking at the temple about the new birth. I will be at the temple over on the north side. I will be at the temple talking about the new birth. I want you to get ready for the new birth. You ain't heard it yet, but once I tell you about the new birth, you know where you come from. I shake, I shake, I shake, I shake, I shake the new birth.